This is a full ranked match as the Conditioned Soulbeast. With the new ability to swap pet while you are merged with the Eternal Bond trait, you can now have two different pets on Soulbeast, and I like to use the Raven and the Alpine Wolf. So the Raven gives you a lot of mobility with the swoop ability and some swiftness, and then because it is a versatile pet, you'll get access to Prelude Lash, which is a nice pull that immobilizes and helps you set up your combos. And then you've got the Alpine Wolf, which has even more mobility and will also give you a knockdown, which also sets up combos. And you have the Endure Pain sort of ability on the F3, which is like a third stun break. So it's a pretty survivable build. You've got regeneration and protection and a decent amount of Condi Cleanse, though it's probably one of the weaknesses of this build is conditions, because you really only cleanse with your heal skill, and then I'm using the Ore Rune to kind of let those conditions come off me. But essentially how the build works is you want to do damage with your heavy hitting poison, because you take the Poison Master trait, and you've got the Dagger 4, which will do like 5 poison if you hit a target that already has a movement inhibiting condition on them. So generally you want to use like your Prelude Lash, and that'll give Immobilize, and then you can use your Dagger 4 into that, and that'll give 5 poison. Then you can swap to your Shortbow, use the Shortbow 2, that'll do another 5 poison. So yeah, those are your two main damaging abilities, but you kind of need to use them in melee range, so you need to set them up with like your CCs from your merged abilities. And then you've also got the Viper's Nest trap, which is pretty strong damage. Now obviously people are not going to just stand in your traps, so that's where the CC comes in, but it's also really great for fighting on nodes or for cleaving down bodies. So in this situation, I'm trying to cleave a downed Necromancer here. I put down my Viper's Trap, which is doing quite a bit of cleave, and we're going to retarget to their Mirage here, who is bursting down my Ranger. So I land a nice Prelude Lash and get all of my poison on them, and then I put down my trap to cleave, and I'm getting a little bit of immobilized, so I back out, and yeah, I see that my team is dying here, so I'm going to swap to my Stout pet and use the Endure Pain to get out, and then use the mobility. So I'm going to be able to survive that situation, and now we can head to, yeah, we're getting chased, so we're going to head actually to bottom instead. So I'm going to use my heal skill here and see if they're chasing me, but they're not. So I'm going to head back into mid, and I see that their Mirage was left to cap the node, which is convenient for me because I can easily kill them because they don't have much Condi Cleanse. And now we've got a kill here off of that losing fight. So yeah, essentially you want to use the mobility of your merge skills while waiting for your big burst combos, and then go in with your mobility skills from the merge abilities and kind of like land a CC and then hit your big poison. And then from there you can probably leave merge, or you can decide to, you know, disengage again. So yeah, it's a pretty mobile build, really fun to play. Now in this 1v1 against a Harbinger, I do have to be very careful because they are a condition class. I can't really survive sustained conditions, so I back out anyways because their Dragon Hunter arrives. And you can see there I use a lot of leap skills in the healing spring there, because you have the swoop while you're merged with the Raven, you've got the little dog leap as well, and then you've got sword 2. So all of those leap abilities will give you some extra sustain while used in your healing spring, which is going to help you survive a lot more. So we're going to put our traps on the node and then just keep immobilizing the target here. And I'm going to move into far to help out our warrior here. Got a lot of mobility, and we get the Dagger 4 off. You can see the Dagger 5 and the Dagger 4 does quite a bit of damage. And now there's quite a bit of enemies here, so I have to be careful. I back out and use my mobility from the sword 2 just so I don't die from all that AoE going off there. They've got some projectile reflex, so I'm just going to stop and put down a trap and kind of heal in that. I'm going to leap through it as well, and Now, yeah, I'm getting focused, so I'm going to back off and use my swoop to get some distance. And yeah, now they're actually still chasing me. I get immobilized and dazed, so I'm pretty much going to be taken out here. So yeah, you have to be careful with your cooldowns. Like, you've got a decent amount of stun breaks, but once you're out of those stun breaks, you're pretty dead. So we're going to respawn here, but we've got a decent lead, so this is completely fine. And the objective isn't coming up anytime soon. For example, like if it was 8:30 and I had died, that would have been bad because then we would have lost that as well. So we're going to be able to contest those when they come up. So we respawn and head to home. It looks like our team is already there, but I don't really want to go into far because it looks like we're already dying there, so I'm just going to be outnumbered anyways. So I'm just going to try and clean this up. Now, the Mirage, and it looks like they have a warrior here. No, that's a Soulbeast. Yeah, that's a Soulbeast on me. I have to be a little bit careful because the Soulbeast is focusing me, and the Mirage is kind of somewhat doing damage to me as well. But now a third player comes in. I think their Druid comes in. So I'm using my mobility once again to kite off and kind of leaving my ally to die on the node, but it looks like they got it down. But yeah, they have 3 here, and I would have died if I'd stayed anyways. So unfortunately, I have to leave them to die. Now the bottom buff is up, and that's mainly why we've got to head to bottom. We are able to prevent them from capping the buff, but now I'm in a 1v1 with a Harbinger, and I have to bait out their cooldowns so that I can land my big poison damage. So I get out one of their stun breaks, but now I'm outnumbered. So this is going to be a really dangerous situation. I put down my traps, and I don't have my stun break up. Unfortunately, it's on like a 5-second cooldown. It's one of the strongest abilities, but yeah, it's a 50-second cooldown. So you got to be careful and know when that cooldown is up. Now I tried to kite out, but I actually dodge back in towards the Soulbeast who is attacking me, and I leap in the wrong direction. So yeah, I was just fumbling there because I was trying to min-max my animation time so I could get out, but that ended up putting me closer to the Soulbeast, and I actually died there. But if I were to use my leaps perfectly there and dodge towards safety rather than towards the enemy, I would have survived. But because of that, we've lost the bottom buff, and now they've got a trip cap, so we have to be careful. I don't think they actually did get the top buff as well, so they have a 6 cap. So this is pretty dangerous. They can get a lot of value out of this. So I want to decap a node, but I'm getting pulled by their Dragon Hunter. And yeah, their Druid is now watching mid, so I have to be careful as well. So I'm going to use my leap and just kite towards the bottom area. If they chase me down here, then maybe I can lure them away from the node and my team can decap it. Now I land a pretty good burst there. They cleanse it though, and I am now being outnumbered, so I have to once again use my merged abilities to get distance and the sword leap as well, and I'm already at the next node. So yeah, the mobility on this build is really good for choosing your fights and kind of like controlling the map as a duelist usually should. Now I'm going to be able to get this kill here. I left a trap down there just in case anyone came in and followed us, but they didn't. And now we've got far, and I'm going to head to mid. They're probably defending this though. Maybe not. Yeah, they're probably actually rotating into our home or something like that. But yeah, they've got respawns as well, so I'm going to probably be fighting someone here. Yeah, so their Soulbeast shows up and their Mirage. I use the Endure Pain here, probably. Actually, it's not necessary. I have so much mobility that I'm able to get out. But the Soulbeast is going to keep chasing me. So I put down my trap just to counter pressure and use the mobility. Now they're still on me. I keep kiting towards the terrain here. I get CC'd. I use my Endure Pain, which normally would remove Immobilize as well, but I think I got double immobilized. I put down my traps here in this kind of like very claustrophobic area, and they chase me in, and because of that, they eat all of the poison damage from my trap and they go down. So we got a nice little counter kill there because they overcommitted, and I used my trap really nicely in the little quarters there. But now we've got a kill, and Our team is kind of doing pretty well on the map. I mean, we've got only one node, but we've got 2 kills, and they've only got 1 kill. So we've technically got an advantage. We can decap mid, and yeah, we've actually lost 2 players, so we're not doing so hot. But I'm gonna probably head into far, because if their entire team goes into mid, then they're gonna wipe us. So I want to split them and go into far. So I see their harbingers there, and I'm gonna have to 1v1 a Condi Necro, which is not the best, but if I dodge, and I can dodge a lot with the sword 2 and 3, yeah, if I use that to dodge a lot, I can maybe survive long enough until they're out of their cooldowns, and then I can land my damage once they're out of their cooldowns there. And yeah, just using my leaps and stuff through the water field there is going to help me to survive their big burst opening. They have a lot of pressure, but the match is actually going to end before this 1v1 ends, so you can't really see the result of this. But I swear I would have won this. But that is how you play the Conditioned Soulbeast. If you like this content, then like the video, subscribe for more. If you want to see the build, then check the link in the description, and I will see you all next time.